Welcome to Holtonsfixit101, and today we're going to talk about this. This is the EB3 or Osbourne EB3 mitre guide. Now, anyone who's watched the New Yankee Workshop with Norm Abram will know that he used one of these on his show, and I've been trying to get one for quite some time, and I've managed to acquire this one. Now, it is very, very good, very accurate as well. But what made me more amazed than anything else is the sturdiness of this as well. Because it has this extra bar across the back here, allows you to really keep a good, steady and sturdy mitre or whatever on the table saw when it's actually inserted into the table saw. Comes with a normal thickness and everything else of the actual bar, but as you can see, this bar here is a good 18 inches long, which is quite a nice long bar, which in effect really most cabinet saws or something like that have this 3/4 inch wide 3/8 deep groove in the tops of their saw, so they will accept this. But this one being Osbourne, they built in some extra adjustments as well. Now I'll get this closer to the camera. As you can see there's some screws, one there, and there's also one back there. And what you do is you adjust those screws, and it actually expands. There's a as you can see, there's a groove actually in there, and it actually expands that out a little bit, so this will actually get precise into the actual mitre guide track that's in the top of your table saw. But it also comes with other bells and whistles as well. And it's got this piece of plastic that you stick on the back here, so when you're actually running this through your saw, it actually runs on that instead of actually wearing this aluminium, or aluminum if you're American, aluminium face out. There's also a piece of well, I say it's sandpaper, but it's very, very rough sandpaper, sticky back sandpaper that actually goes right along here. Now, this piece of wood that's actually on here, I've actually stuck that on myself. I've actually cut that and put that all on there myself, because I didn't necessarily feel that I wanted to have a piece of aluminum going right close to my blade on my saw. Accidents do happen in the workshop, but this is one of those that I didn't want to happen. So in this case I put a bit of wood on there, and if this ever happens to touch the saw blade or whatever, it's not going to, and it has done a couple of times where I've actually brought this round at a different mitre. But actual mitring this is absolute breeze. It really is a breeze. You got this knob here on the inside of here, and that allows that to actually change, and it gives you graduations on the back here rather than having on there. And you've got a button underneath, you would see just on there. Look, you press that button in, that gives you the most common stops. Now that one there is at 22.5 degrees. So that's most common stops that it would bring it to. There's back to 0, so you know that is absolutely square to that there. So that's in 0, and then you just lock off your on there, and it's absolute breeze. Now it can be, if you undo the screws on the back of here, there, just there, you can actually turn this, if you're a righty or a lefty, depending on which side of the saw blade that you want to be cutting the wood. It depends on your preference. this will actually turn right round, so you can actually use this to this side of the blade rather than having it on this side of the blade. A brilliant idea from Osbourne. You take the handle out and you swing this all the way round, and you just put it all back together again, and it does exactly the same. That side of the blade is what it does this side of the blade. Now, everyone's seen the traditional mitre guide. I've got a couple around the shop here. Everyone's seen these traditional sort of mitre guides like this. I'm not knocking these. They are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. In fact, this one has got some graduations, very, very fine graduations, more finer than whatever this will come down to. But this one is absolutely precise. You know, this brilliant. But I've got another one down here that I actually use on my router table, and this one is brilliant as well, because this one has a digital readout on the front there, as you can see, and this got a nice long fence that I can take off of it. This will actually move to wherever I want to go. But this one's brilliant. Apart from the fact that it has ball bearings in the side there, sprung load ball bearings, and that's how this one particularly gets rid of that slack in the when you put it into the mitre guide. That's how that one does it. But I used that one particular one more on my router table up here. But the reason I use that one is because I'd be able to move from the table saw. If I'm cutting something on the table saw, I can go straight over to my router table, put it in the router table, just adjust the fence here, and I'm cutting or routing the edge or whatever I'm doing at the angle that I actually cut it at. I'm not changing or setting up another mitre guide to go in there, and then I get the angle wrong or trying to do it. It's right every time. The workflow is a lot better. But just for straight cuts and everything else, or doing 45-degree mitres, this is an absolute. I couldn't say anything better about it, because 45-degree angles, this is brilliant, and I recommend anyone who's got a cabinet saw that will be allowed to take the actual thick bar, go out and get yourself one, because they are brilliant. So there we go, mitre guides. Now, if anyone wants to connect with me, they connect me on the usual channels. I'll put the link down here so you can see it, and I'll put a link up there for my previous video that I've done. And I will see everyone next time, and please click on that like button as well, and in that bell icon thing there as well. Have a go at that, and that subscribe button. Have a go at that one. Leave some comments down below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.